All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel and to the old Toronado XS revival. It's not a restoration, but, you know, let's get this thing on the road kind of thing, kind of deal, drive it around a bit. Anyways, so we're working on this thing again today because last video was snowing and this video, well, it's a balmy 3 degrees. So in comparison, it's like summer out here, isn't it? So, yeah, we're going to keep working on this thing. We've got some parts that finally came in, of course. Most of the parts I have to order in. They take time, but we got parts in. We've got an alternator. We've got a whole bunch of other stuff. But first thing we're going to try to do is work on that sock that's taken place of an EGR valve that's blocking that big hole in the intake manifold. So we're going to try and extract those frozen bolts which snap right off and try and build some sort of a block off plate for that. Then we're going to look at some sort of way to get rid of all the vacuum leaks. And maybe we're going to, you know, put the charging whirler in here and get the battery in here and maybe time this old girl and get her running real good. And then hopefully from that point on, we'll work on some brakes. So let's get into it. Oh, and one more thing. I've mic'd myself up. So that's right. I bought a cheapy Amazon mic. This is a wireless lav deal. Hopefully this is going to give you better sound and give me more mobility with both hands, because using, you know, one hand to hold the microphone and the camera and one hand to twist the wrench, turn the tool, whatever, don't work very good. So hopefully this is better sound. Let me know in the comments below how you like the sound, and we'll go from there. All right, for those of you that haven't seen any other videos, this is my solution right now for the broken EGR housing. It was cracked. It's actually cracked really badly right under there, and in an attempt to take it off, the bolts snapped actually very easily. So I got a sock in there right now, which is really jammed in there, plugging this huge exhaust and I guess vacuum leak as well. So we're going to try and extract these. I'm going to try welding a nut on there and going from there. So I got to pull the welder out, drag it across all the snow and crap and bring it over here. So let's get the welder out and get a nut, and we're going to do some welding. This is not the easiest thing to do. I gotta somehow get the welder. So I gotta somehow get the welder over near the car here. So let's swing you guys around. See what we're dealing with here. And I gotta get the welder across the snow. How's that gonna work? I need some sort of a runway here. Need some wood. Somehow got to make a runway here. Hopefully that works. Let's see. Well, the big wheel on the back, at least, will help us. You know what? Drive it across. Kind of like that. All right. Maybe that'll work. Maybe that will work. Air cleaner in the snow. Okay, welder's here. Let's get some wiring, let's get an extension cord. All right, so I've got a nut which seems to be the right size there. I'm going to weld that, and then we're going to try and extract it. So we'll get ourselves set up here. Welder's humming away, getting warm. Let's see how this goes. So we got to find ourselves a ground. Maybe this here bracket. That's actually pretty thick. Too thick for the ground. Where are we going to clamp to? Clamp, clamp, clamp. Should be clamping hopefully somewhere close enough to what we're welding. It's not really the best ground situation here. Where are we going to ground to? I don't know, I got a big old stud there off the cylinder head. Okay, maybe that'll be the ground. Oh yeah. That seems okay. Let's see if we that there cool. Okay, while everything's warm-ish, I put some more Croil all over that. Let that do its thing. Now I hope we can get this off. Yeah, not quite. A little bit more welding needed on that guy. All right, a little bit more welding needed. That didn't do the trick. I can hold that there for now. All right, and go. All right, let's try that one now. She's like glowing hot. The Croil might just turn into a massive fire. There you go. And hit it some more. Careful not to melt that plastic part of the throttle cable. All right, everything's nice and cooking hot. I think the nut's welded on better. Let's see. We can get some rotation here. Nope, just breaks right off. So keep going back to the drawing board. Okay, so I got another one welded on. Actually, more than just one. I've been through 3 or 4 attempts now. And this little bugger does not want to come out. Some more Croil in there. And we're going to put you back up here on the tripod. Whoop. It's because I can't work very well with one hand. And she feels like it's coming out. Oh yeah, put some gloves on. She's quite hot. That's the beauty of welding it. When you weld it, it gets everything super hot. And then you hit it with the Croil. And bingo. I hope this is... Oh, nope. I just seem to break off the head yet again. So it's out a lot further. I wonder if I can vice grip it. So we'll see if the vice grips do anything here, because that is completely different. It's out probably, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch now. Just give her a rotate. A little twist here, hopefully. Need something else to twist on that with. Nope, doesn't want to go still. So, more welding perhaps. More Croil in the hole. I tell you, this is tedious. They're still frozen in there. I'm welding and trying to impact that kind of with my mallet. Still not coming loose. May just weld that hole up. I mean, geez. Don't want to come loose. Maybe you'll just stay in there. It's kind of hard to say if it's moving or not. Kind of feels like it is. Nope. Just twists right off. This is what we're dealing with. Just keeps twisting right off. So what are we going to do? It's starting to rain now too. We got to make a decision here pretty quick. All right, here's a little lesson in life. Whenever your plan A fails and your plan B fails, just wing it. So I ended up putting some big washers over the holes, welding them, and then welding over top. It's fugly. It is disgusting, but I need to get this thing blocked off. So later I'll have a better solution for that. Maybe when I pull the carburetor, I can grind that down and weld that solid, but this is going to be good enough for now. So now we're going to see if that welding job actually did the trick and see if I got some vacuum and exhaust leaks from the intake manifold. So battery time, let's get this thing started up again one more time. Well, before that, hey, let's put a charging whirler or an alternator, charging machine. I'll change this guy out. Then we'll start it, see if that leak's fixed, and see if we've got a charging system. Okay, belt tightening time. Hopefully the belt is in the right. Yep, belt tightening time. Stupid thing. Oops, going the wrong way. Stupid thing here. Stripped. So I'm gonna have to put a nut on the back of this. Yeah, reman alternator. And it's stripped into the housing, the aluminum housing. So you get what you pay for. That's what happens. Okay, tighten up this alternator now. I'll start with this one. I don't want to tighten it too much. I'm using the same belt. Maybe it needs a bit more than that though. How's that? Again, aluminum housing. Don't want to go too tight, but here's kind of what we're looking at. This fitting here on the carburetor is almost completely corroded off, but this vacuum leak, because it goes to the EGR, so I don't need the EGR no more, so I'll plug that guy. And I got another vacuum leak over here. So a couple vacuum leaks, and then we'll see if she starts. All right, alternator is tight, old belt is tight, fixed a couple vacuum leaks, real hacky, like this one right here. Fixed a vacuum leak up in here. Don't need this thing anymore, so goodbye EGR. Batteries in. Another vacuum leak right here that was fixed. I think we can try starting her up again just to see if we got a charging system, see if that gen light goes off in the dash. And how's the lav mic holding up? I kind of have a feeling it's over boosting the audio a little bit. I'm talking pretty quiet, but anyhow. Keys, let's see how this girl comes to life. Into the sweet interior. I'm gonna give her a few pumps. A few more pumps. And she starts right up. Gen light's off, check ignition is still on, but we know that's gonna happen because the Mizar distributor isn't hooked up. But I don't care about that. Running pretty good. So it seems no more EGR leak. I know it's got a bad fuel leak still. Really bad fuel leak. Might have to fix that, but let's let it run for a bit more. Maybe it'll come off of high idle. That's my goal. But it's nice to see we got a charging system. So let's just let that run for a little bit more. We're getting close, real close, to getting the brakes started here. And I wonder something. Let's let her run for a second. I wonder if I can nose her into the garage. I should measure this out and see how many feet we're dealing with here. She's idling. A little bit off high, a little bit off an idle here, but she's idling a lot lower. So it's coming off the choke. Needs some timing for sure. probably the most she's run, the best she's run. I'm using a lot of gas, so it's just dumping gas out of there. So, and I got to change the oil, so I'm going to shut her down and we'll move on. All right, well, we got rain coming now, so I got to keep the camera protected. So I'll show you here what I did to make sure you guys are all dry. So here you go. Umbrella strapped to the tripod here. GoPro should be nice and dry. So let's keep moving. All right, so I got the leaky fuel line, or at least what I think is the culprit here. Look at that old line, man. That is like crispy. It just sort of fell apart on me here. Here's the, the hose clamp. So we'll get some new hose clamps, put some new fuel line on that portion. Yeah, I should probably do all the fuel line on this thing, but we're just gonna get this thing so I can limp it into the garage or move it around a bit without burning it to the ground. So right now we'll just do the one piece. Well, the fun does just not stop with this car, I tell you, and probably is the same way on all old cars. Comment below if you've got similar issues. But as I was taking the line off the old fuel pump, everything was fine, and I was putting the new line on, the nipple cracked right off. So the fuel pump is now done. And of course, I can't get a fuel pump until, you know, a couple days from now, but at least we can get one. But I'll show you what I'm dealing with now. In the process of removing said fuel line, of course, this was frozen on. This is the part that goes to the pump. This is the part that goes to the carb. So I did not want to use heat on this part. I wonder why, eh? And it twisted right off. I tried back and forth, and it's just so soft. I assume every single steel and rubber line in this car is going to be like this. Fortunate so far that everything's held together, but if you touch anything on this car, I believe it's going to go like this. So I do have some fuel line lying around, and if I can get that old fitting out of that twisted bit, I might just make a fuel line. It's just a quick flare and a bend. It is a tight bend though. This is fairly tight, and then it will neck down the diameter of the tubing, but I don't think this old girl is going to need to drink all the fuel that this, whatever, 3/8 fuel line can give. So I think we'll be fine making a fuel line. Otherwise, I'll have to buy one, but I'm sure it'll be way too much money. Next thing I guess we can do while we're waiting for a fuel pump now, because this car won't run, is play with the brakes, and I want to get that master cylinder off. Before I freeze, I'll try to get the brake lines off the master cylinder, and hopefully those don't do the same thing as the fuel pump line. So let's get into that. All right, so let's start working on these. We're going to heat these up real hot. Hopefully they'll bust loose. I did hose them with some Croil earlier. Man, these I do not want to replace. Or do I really want to keep these? I don't know. Let's see. I do have all the rubber lines, and I am prepared to build new steel lines, because I don't think they'll make them. You know, it's easy enough to build these. But regardless, I'd like to get these out of here. The master cylinder, when I put fluid in it last time, is now dry again. So when I was moving the car around back and forth, is either that or there's just a leak. And I can't really see where it's leaking right now, you know, not in the gravel. So yeah, let's just see what happens here. Nice and hot. Well, I'll do one at a time. I'll do the front one here. Focus on one, which is actually for the rear brakes. Running out of this good juice. Be nice to me. It is tight. Oh, I think I see the line moving too, which ain't good. All right, I had to use vice grips because the flare wrench, or the flare nut wrench, dealio, the right wrench, didn't do anything. So now we've got vice grips on here, and I can get everything to rotate now a little bit. Hopefully we can get that off. I mean, it's going. Yes, it's going. Unbelievable. Now maybe we can come back in with the flare nut wrench. So that one's free. It's not in very good shape, but it is free nonetheless. Yeah, this was starting to round that nut. It was so tight, so didn't want to risk it. So we've got a line off, just about. Yeah, there, we got a line off. Now we got to do the other one. Yeah, this one here on the back is the same way. I'm gonna cook this thing too. The flare nut wrench just wants to round the nut. All it wants to do. So 50% of the way there, at least. I'm gonna try the vice grip again. You just got to be careful with that vice grip that you're not rounding things as well. It's got a lot more leverage. It's a lot longer. Teeth can really bite into that soft metal there. You definitely see how tricky this can be. The line itself felt okay though. Didn't feel as bad as one would think. But if I can get the master cylinder in, do a quick bleed job, get some brakes on the front wheels, and I can get her into the garage. And then we can go to town on this whole brake system. And at least get underneath the car without lying on the ground in this wet gravel, because I ain't doing that. Cold is one thing, but wet is another thing. And it rains like all the time, and it's humid here, and it's just right to the bone. All right, let's try that. Find the right spot, which feels right around there. Not too much, but yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, I got it cracked. Now it's the line issue. Gotta hold the line somehow, put a little pressure on it. Yeah, there we go. Come on, girl. It's twisting the line, I think, the whole time. Oh, yeah, that line is, oh, wait a minute. Did I get it? Come back in here now. This guy. There we go. I think that little teak, if you heard it, was the line coming free of the flare nut. So success, we got both lines off. I hope they hold pressure. Okay, victory, both brake lines off. So now let's yank the master and put the new one on. All right. Old master cylinder off. Sexy new master cylinder going back on. So I'm going to bench bleed this one on the car. Have someone sit in the car, i.e. family member. They may not like that. But hey, we're going to do that. Or maybe, you know, I'll just sit in there myself, run the lines in. That's probably a way that I could do it. But yeah, trying to just get the front brakes to work and go from there. These two nuts holding the master cylinder on were absolutely corroded on just like everything else on this car. Hope that booster's okay. Hope I don't need to replace that, but I guess I could, you know what? I guess I could check. Because I had the car running. And if I take that line off the booster, click. Let's do a little torque check. Click, click. If I take this line off here, might hear a little hiss. It's the guy I'm talking about right here. Nope, I got nothing. So it might be a dud. Either way, worry about that when I get to it. Just gonna loosely put these in for now, just to make sure everything lines up. Yeah, that threads in nice. And so does that. Okay, so that'll work. Good. Bench bleeding, or on the car bleeding we go. Okay, I got you guys precariously positioned over the master cylinder. We're just going to do a little pumping, and you're going to see it bubbling like mad. Well, we're going to keep doing this until the bubbles are gone. And then we've got ourselves a bled master cylinder. And it's a lot easier than doing it on a bench. The only thing is you're going to have someone do it for you, or have a camera there or something so you can actually verify the bubbles are all gone. So we'll do this a little bit more. All right, it's been a while, so you guys let me know now. Do we have any more bubbles? We're all the way down to the floor. We're coming back up. Down to the floor again. Do we have any bubbles? I think we're good. All right, well, that's going to be the end of this video. Not exactly everything I wanted to get done, but look at what we did get done. We ended up blocking off that EGR. We got rid of the sock. Not the best job, but it'll do the trick. It is a block off nonetheless. We got a brand new alternator in there, and we got a charging system back, so we can run the car without a auxiliary charger on there, which is really, really good. It's nice to see the gen light go off on the dash. We got a brand new master cylinder in there, and those lines didn't snap when they came off the master cylinder, which is really good. Downstream of the master cylinder, all the other brake components, we're going to go through bit by bit, but we're trying to get at least front brakes on this thing so I can move it around. And speaking of moving it around, it's not going anywhere for a while, because right behind you guys, there's a huge snowbank. This is where we shovel all the snow off the driveway and off the walkway down the side of the home here. So that is still going to have to melt for a little while. And as the temperature's dropping, I think that might take a bit longer. But we are still waiting for the fuel pump as well to come in, because that threw me for a loop. I didn't expect that changing that rubber line would entail, or would have that nipple break off the fuel pump. So now I got to get a fuel pump in here. And I'm sure all the other fuel line components and bits and pieces are probably all bad as well. But I want to get the car out of the gravel. I want to get the car into the garage, or at least part of it in the garage, so I can work on things when it's a little bit drier, a little bit less cold. I've got a heater in there, and got some more light, of course, because I'm not running out of daylight. So anyways, I really appreciate all you guys watching. If you do like the content, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I really enjoy all the comments from all the Oldsmobile guys and gals down below that know about these cars, because it really helps me out and helps me understand what to look for next. And I love sharing it with you as well. So take care. We'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.